Another 10 questions for your PgMP exam preparation. We are starting with question number 91 and we will go till 100. If you missed seeing our previous videos, you can follow the playlist. You can find the link in the description. I am focusing primarily on program lifecycle in this particular 10 question slot. But yes, there is a possibility we may end up touching the governance and benefits management domain also while we are discussing these questions. So let's start with question number 91. During a program review meeting, you present program's cost variance using earned value management, EVM. A stakeholder expresses confusion and asks you to explain cost variance in a simple and relatable way. How would you respond? So this question is expecting the program manager to demonstrate ability to explain performance indicator, which is coming related to cost variance, which it also asks or kind of testing the ability of a program manager to simplify things from the perspective of stakeholders. So let's see which of the following option can help you in explaining the cost variance with ease. Option A, explain that cost variance is the difference between the expected budget and the total budget of the program used to evaluate overall financial performance. So definitely this is not the cost variance. There is a possibility of such kind of thing which can be called variance at completion. That's a possibility. That kind of word may suitable here. Though it is not primarily talking about baselines, it is talking using the word generically budget, but anyway, it is not something which represents the cost variance. You know the cost variance is equal to the earned value minus actual cost, EV minus AC. So we need to just find out which of the following statement can present EV minus AC with ease. Option B, describe cost variance as the difference between the budget planned till date and the actual expense made till now. So what this option B is saying, PV minus AC. Yeah, that is not the cost variance. Option C, describe cost variance as the difference between the budgeted value of work done, EV, and the actual expense made till now. That's it. That's the cost variance. So cost variance is budgeted expense of the work done till now is a earned value minus the actual expenses. Option D, describe cost variance as how much more money is needed to finish the program compared to the initially estimated budget. Yeah, estimate to complete, and it is talking about estimate to complete in comparison to the cost baseline. Definitely, it's not the cost variance. So we understand the options are very clear, and we can go with option C in this particular question because it simply helps us in explaining what is cost variance from the perspective of simple language for the stakeholders. So this question can be mapped to overall explaining the performance analysis report by showing the actual versus planned value. You can get this task 31 in the exam few times, especially when it comes to comparing scope, schedule, quality, cost. All those critical planning activity may have a variance analysis also coming in, and there the task 31 will get tested in the PgMP exam. Program lifecycle domain, task 31. Question number 92. Midway through the program, you identify communication inefficiencies between projects. Following a lesson learned discussion, you propose a team building activity at the program level, and approval is granted for 2 days offsite involving the complete program team. Seems to be a huge activity. Good amount of money will get involved. Yeah. What is the next step you should take? Yeah. So you got an approval for taking the team for the offsite, which was not originally planned because it is coming as a result of lesson learned. So you need to do the required adjustment so this activity produces the result and also does not disrupt too much of your program work. Yeah. So option A, update the program management plan to reflect the changes and ensure integration with the program objective. To me, this looks good. Yeah, that's the thing I should do. I should ensure the scheduling and the costing and other resourcing related stuff whatever need to be appropriately changed should get changed, and then I do this particular activity. Let's see other options. Option B, identify the venue for the offsite and ensure all team members participate to maximize the benefits. Yes, I should do. Yeah, that's there. But when I'm properly planning my program management plan, probably I will focus on this particular activity more. It is more like that I have an approval of an offsite activity. There will be many things which I have to do. I have to talk about venue. I have to talk about travel booking. I have to talk about members participation. I need to do many things. Yeah, this is a specific thing which is focusing on. Definitely, I may end up doing that, but it's a one narrow focused option. Option C, request the governance group to join the offsite to provide oversight and foster alignment. I can definitely do that, but they may not be needed. I don't know. Right now, the focus is team building. So it's a possible thing, but doesn't looks very relevant in this particular question context. Option D, identify criteria to measure the success of team building activity and its impact on the program communication. Yeah, I should do that. Yeah, that's a part of it. So say B and D, I may end up doing. But I, as a program manager, rather than getting into the direct administrative stuff, which is a B thing, C is that as a completion or a change which we have taken as an action item in a lesson learned as a team building activity, I should have a well-defined lesson learned action item which talks about what we will do and how we will measure the impact. That's, I can assume, that has been approved. Now my focus is whenever the lesson learned corrective or preventive action has get approved, my next thing for a PgMP exam is integrating that change into a program management plan. So if we just remember that thing, so we can find the option A with ease. And this thing can be well understood with the help of task number 26 of your program lifecycle, which clearly tells update program plan by incorporating corrective actions to ensure program resources are employed effectively to meet program objective and deliver program benefits. So whenever you have something corrective action based on issue or based on lesson learned, I need to make sure that I update the desired component of program management plan. Yeah, rather than I just keep focusing on what was that action item. So looking at this particular task and with the details, I can go with option A as an answer for this particular question, because this thing should be well reflected in my program schedule, program costing, and some amount of program resource planning. Yeah. Question number 93. During a program execution, you notice that program's cost variance is consistently high, and your forecast shows that program will require 20% more budget than initially planned to complete. As a program manager, how would you handle this situation? So what question is showing is that you have done the analysis of the program performance and there is a cost variance, and you projected this further. You also estimated the overall forecasted completion expenses, and based on that forecasted estimate, you see the 20% more money will be needed. Now, how should you proceed from here when you see this particular component will take more money? Yeah, so this particular program will take more money. Option A, conduct a detailed trend analysis to identify the root causes of the cost overrun, research alternative, and propose corrective action to the governance board for approval. Not a bad idea. Looks good. Yeah, I feel that there are good amount of element which looks good in the option A. So I consider it as a good option. Let's see we go for the next. The only thing is that the question is in a way showing that I have done a projection of the closure. So seems like I have taken care of a trend analysis. That's the only negative thing. But yeah, there is a possibility in the exam you probably don't get that nicely crafted option. So looks good, option A. Let's see. Option B, perform a make or buy analysis to identify potential outsourcing opportunity to mitigate the cost overrun. I can do that, but so this could be a one thing we can keep in mind while we are handling the PgMP exam question. They are narrow focused options. So it's a narrowly focusing on one particular thing, which is not well indicated in the question, but it's a possible thing. But there could be many other things also which are possible. So we can say it's a narrow focused option. Option C, update the estimate at completion to reflect the 20% budget increase, document the reason for the variance, and present the revised forecast along with the proposed corrective action to the governance board for approval. This looks also good, yeah, or I would say it looks great, yeah. Let's see. So now A and C both are looking good. We will revisit A and C again. Option D, escalate the issue to the project managers of individual components and require them to reassess their cost estimate to resolve the variance. So it is saying, the project managers are not taking care of the variances. They need to take care of it so that I can overcome it. It's possible. Yeah, it's B and D are narrowly focused actions which might be there, but I need to take a little holistic approach, open-ended approach, which probably incorporate various possible things I can do for this particular situation. So let's compare A and C. So I would say the A and C has a good portion same. The only thing is beginning. So A talks about conduct a detailed trend analysis to identify the root cause, whereas the C talks about update the estimated completion to reflect the 20% budget increase. Yeah. So see, the question is clearly showing that you are forecasted to show 20% more budget. So we can go with option C because it is using one thing, it is using a word estimated completion, and it is not taking you to the trend analysis. Though the trend analysis is a valid analytical tool you apply when you are doing performance, but since this question is indicating it is done, so I will directly go with estimated completion estimation, which I already have. Now I need to do a brainstorming with my stakeholder to find out what should we do. It might result into more budget. It might result into reworking of scope. It might result into finding out better a way of managing component projects or outsourcing it. But option C is little open-ended and a little more comprehensive, which gives us more option to play. So in this particular case, we can go with option C. So this is map to question the task number 25, analyze variance and the trend in cost, schedule, quality, risk by comparing actual versus forecast and identify corrective actions or opportunities. So we are proceeding to identify corrective actions. We have taken a trend and we are working on it, and then we will talk to our governance group about it. Question number 94. During a program execution, a new dependency is identified between two component projects. One project which is expected to deliver the dependency is already over budget. This dependency impacts the overall program schedule, require changes to ensure alignment with the program objective and benefits. As the program manager, how would you handle this situation? So one project is asking another project to give something, and another project is saying I'm already over budget, so probably I won't be able to handle it without asking for more money. And this dependency seems to be critical for the overall program benefits. So what is it? It's an issue. It's an issue in front of you as a program manager, and you need to find out corrective preventive actions, and once you take those actions, you need to make sure that you integrate it with the program management plan. So I need to see something like that. I correct the issue, find out some workaround. If workaround is available, very good, and whatever we do, we need to integrate in our program management plan. That's it. That's the possible approach we can take. Let's see the option. Allocate additional budget for the over budget project and propose a revised program schedule. So it's a jumping to the conclusion. You can say there are two type of options which can easily be avoided. One is narrow, fully focused, and jumping to the action, jumping to the conclusion. So it's a jumping to the conclusion, which is in a way a narrow focused conclusion only, which I will say I will give the budget. Yeah. Option B, work with the project manager to analyze the dependencies impact. Good idea. Identify workaround for resolving the dependency. If possible, great. So I don't have to change anything. And update the program master schedule and roadmap to reflect the dependency. Looks good. Yeah. So as of now, this has all the elements which are needed. It takes care of language of issue getting resolved with the workaround. Does not focus too much of touching the baselines, probably not needed, but does talk about the element of program management plan, project program schedule, and program roadmap getting updated. Yeah. So looks good. Option C, perform a root cause analysis of why the dependency was not identified during the early stage of the planning and review the program for any other hidden dependency. You can do it. So that's another trend we need to keep in mind. Whenever something goes wrong, I need to fix the current problem, corrective action before I focus on preventive thing. So option C is saying preventive. How can we avoid such kind of occurrence happening in future. Okay, great idea, but right now you have a occurrence, you need to take care of that. So that way I can keep option C aside. Option D, direct the dependent project to proceed with its planned schedule and implement contingency reserve, measures later if the dependency is delayed. So narrowly focused, and I'm directing the thing. So A and D directly concluding to coming to the action, not a good idea. B is looking great. C is going in the preventive mode rather than focusing the corrective problem here. So if I compare these things, it's a easy thing to find out. But in general, I understand whenever the word issue is coming, I will try to find out workaround about it. I first need to identify the issue in the question. So it is something, an undesirable event which has an impact. I need to find out corrective action. If there are some workaround, I can take them. And once those are taken, I need to integrate that into a program management plan. So that's a generic approach I can take. So this is mapped to task 27 of your program lifecycle, where we talk about manage program level issues by identifying and selecting the course of action consistent with the program scope, constraint, or objective to achieve the program benefits. Yeah, so you need to do something so that we remain aligned to the program benefits. So you handle this particular issue here. Question number 95. Due to delays in benefits realization, some stakeholders have become skeptical about the program's progress. As the program manager, how would you address their concerns and ensure alignment with program objective? So there is a delay, then stakeholders are disappointed. So what do? They are disappointed, but you need to bring their engagement, focus, trust back in the program. Yeah. If they don't remain engaged, we can get into more problems. So that's the situation here. Option A, conduct a meeting with the stakeholders to create confidence and trust between you and the stakeholders. Not a bad idea. You should do and meet people, which creates better relationship and building things. So it's a candidate option. It's good if you can take some concrete step other than just meeting people. So if I have some concrete step and then meeting people, I would like that. Let's see option B. Provide stakeholders with the updated benefit realization forecast. Yeah. Outline corrective actions being implemented to address the situation. So this looks good. Yeah, provide stakeholder with updated forecasts. So I need to replan my program activities, my program management plan, my benefits management activity, and based on that, I am representing to my stakeholders. Now, how I am representing, not very clear. If I do as a part of a meeting, then it's a great, but that thing is not clear. So overall, option B is good because it has a concrete actions there. Option C, work more closely with the governance board and request their intervention to reassure stakeholder about the program's progress. I can do that, but why don't I reassure the program progress before I go for a governance group? It should be my job. I need to create that. Yeah, so I stick to option B as of now. Option D, work more aggressively with your project team to ensure no further delays. You should do that anyway, but that's not the question. Question is about that stakeholders are little bit disappointed and they are not finding things going right. So first I need to create some communication with them and I need to make sure that I really materialize those communication. So option D will be needed to make sure that we meet our commitment this time, else this will create another negative image for our program team. But I need to go to the stakeholder with my revised plan first because things will go wrong. I need to take the corrective action. I need to take a lesson learned in account and I need to revisit. Things will not go as per plan all the time. Our goal as a program manager is we keep people informed, keep updating the plans, and that's what we can do as an option B. So update program management plan by incorporating corrective action to ensure the program resources are used effectively. So updating the program management plan is always a good idea. And you can only talk to your stakeholder when you can show them the revised forecast. So task 126. Question number 96. During program execution, a new risk has been identified related to potential delay from a vendor. As a response strategy, you have worked with two component projects impacted by the risk to replan some of their dependent activities. What should you do next? So in a way, there is a risk which is not yet occurred. So which means it's not an issue right now, but still as a response, you are doing something. You are revisiting your work in the two component projects. So that's something you are doing as a response, and you have done that. You have worked upon those two components. What will you do next? Yeah, that's the question. Okay, option A, update the program risk register with the response and ensure the project managers update their project schedule to reflect the risk response. Good idea. That's something I should do. I need to make sure that I update the program level risk, and I also need to ensure that project managers update their respective schedule because their dependencies are getting impacted. Option B, update the risk register, update the program scope statement and WBS, and ensure the project schedules are updated accordingly. So the difference between the A and B is here we are adding scope statement update as well. So seems to be the question is asking in this particular situation, how many elements of your project program management plan you will update. Yeah, that seems to be the question. So the first answer is the first option is saying risk register and project schedules, no other element of program management plan. Option B is saying risk register of a program and program scope statement and WBS and a project level schedule. Yeah, that's the second option. I don't see much relevance of updating the program scope statement here. WBS is more about decomposing and creating accountability of the work. If the things have shifted from one team to another team and some decomposition has been revisited, that could be something which can trigger change of scope and WBS, but as of now, not. Option C, update the risk register, update the benefits register, and ensure the project schedules are updated to reflect the risk response. So at a program level, we are updating two documents in option C, risk register and benefits register. Out of the question, not very clearly the impact on benefits are shown. No measurement or mapping things is very visible here. So I probably will be a little like not that much excited to update the benefits register here. Let's see option D. Update the program risk register, ensure the change are reflected in the project schedule, same like A, and update the program master schedule to maintain alignment. That looks better. Yeah. So option B, option D and A, these are the two comparison one, because option B I can ignore because of updating scope. Option C I can ignore because of benefits register. Now A and D, definitely D is talking about more relevant things getting updated. I can go with that. Another thing is that whenever such kind of impacts and things are getting delayed, it is expected to impact overall program master schedule. Yeah, because it's talking about dependency and an integrating thing at a higher level. So when you are changing, you did need to ensure the project schedules are getting changed, but there is a likelihood the master schedule is also needs to be updated. So if the option is giving me that choice, I should go with that. So I will go with option D in this particular situation. Overall tasks on 26, which is talking about update the program management plan. Once you have resolved something, you need to get back and make sure the program management plan is looking good. Question number 97. You are managing a program in a manufacturing organization aimed at improving operational efficiency in your supply chain. Okay, a new tracking system is being implemented to monitor material movement and is expected to reduce delays and improve inventory management. However, the sustaining team finds the system too complex to support. As the program manager, how would you handle this situation? Okay, so this seems to be interesting. So you have a sustainment team which is not too much happy about the system, though the system is expected to produce the benefits. Let's see. Option A, provide additional training and support to the sustaining team to ensure they can manage the system effectively. Good idea. Just jumping to the action symptom is there, but looks good. Option B, simplify the tracking system by reducing complex features to make it easier to jumping to the idea. So now once I get another option which is jumping to the idea, I know both of the options are probably not right. Option C, delay the transition until the sustenance team demonstrate readiness, jumping to the idea. Option D, have a meeting with the sustaining team to understand their concerns and perform causal analysis to identify the reason for complexity and update the transition and sustainment plan accordingly. Great. Yeah. So it is holistic in nature, open-ended in nature. Problem could be at any area. Let's understand. And based on that, we may need to change our transition planning or sustainment planning. Transition planning can include providing more support, delay, training, whatever is needed in order to make these things happen can be included there, and what kind of guidance, documentation, budgeting support we recommend for sustainment can also get reflected there. So that way option D looks holistic in nature, and we can go with option D in this particular question. Mapped to task 13 of developing the benefits management plan and ensuring the overall transition, integration, and sustainment. We have been talking about this task in our previous videos as well, so I'm sure you recall that it's a benefits connected task. Question number 98. Post-delivery, quality issues are identified in the outputs of one of the component projects, requiring rework and additional testing. As a result, the project timeline is extended by 3 months. As a program manager, what should you do next? We have a delay, we have an issue, we have a quality issue here. And this quality issue is making us getting things delayed. Yeah, they will need additional 3 months to do it. There is a rework. Let's see. Option A, update the program schedule, reassess the impact on program objective, and communicate the changes to stakeholders. Yes, I can do that. Yeah, that's a thing. But probably I really want to also understand, do we have other alternative than just accepting to this problem? Yeah, we just need to fix it and need to take a 3 months and all this. So option A is saying, let's accept that this is the issue and we need to work on it, do something about it. Yeah, that's the thing which is coming here, and update the project schedule about it. Okay. Option B, work closely with the project team to expedite the rework and testing process to minimize further delay. That's obviously you will do. Yeah. Here you have a situation which is saying the 3 months delay in your delivery and you need additional rework. First, I need to find out how do I incorporate that information in my program management plan, if that's the thing we look into. Option A is already giving me an idea. I update my program schedule and do a objective assessment and communicate the changes to the stakeholder. It in a way it is directly showing me that option. Option C, update the program management plan, assess the impact on program objectives, and communicate the changes to stakeholder. So if I compare A and C, C is more better because it is talking about other elements of the program as well. So there is a most likely impact on cost, There is a most likely impact on elements related to the risk and benefits. Yeah, those kind of things are most likely to happen. And as we learned in our exam content outline, we need to update the program management plan. Now, both the options A and C are not talking about looking anything beyond the issue described in the question. So if I don't have an option, then I will say that, okay, assuming this issue has been accepted and this is what we have to adjust to. Yeah, so that's a thing. So why I'm trying to point out, the same question with a different option may produce different result. If you have an option which talks about doing analysis of what can be done best here, then we probably need to treat that particular option differently. But the options all are doing something after we have identified the corrective action of delay in 3 months and reworking the test, the reworking that particular component. Now, how do we incorporate that particular change? That is becoming the question. Option D, revise the escalation threshold for the project and conduct closer monitoring to ensure timely completion. So B and D are relevant. I will do B or D anyway. But as a program manager level, when I have an issue, I need to analyze, I need to brainstorm, find alternative, and then I need to fix my program management plan. That's the thing. And once I'm executing those things, I will become more efficient. So B and D is telling, once you execute this thing, you should be more efficient, but I need to start with planning first. Yeah. So I need to revisit my plan first before I get into execution. So that way, option A and C remain the candidate, and because C is more open and holistic in nature because it is taking care of the program management plan, we go with option C. If you have a difference of opinion, comment in the video. We can have a conversation. You don't have to agree with me in all the questions. Question number 99. Your program involves multiple projects delivering interrelated components. Obviously, stakeholders express concern about scope creep. Which of the following KPI can you use to ensure the program scope remain controlled? That's interesting. So it is basically testing the ability of a program manager to identify the indicators and matrices, yeah, as a performing program manager. And this particular case, we need to find out the option which is focusing or helping us to take care of scope creep. Now, what is scope creep? Uncontrolled expansion of the scope. Yeah, that's you can say is a scope creep. You probably know from your project management knowledge. Option A, deviation tracking baseline scope versus deliverable. Good idea. It will help us in seeing if there is any scope creep or not. Number of scope change requests approved. In a way, yes, we can keep eye on change request. Number of defect against the acceptance criteria. We can say that, yeah, things which were not matching as per acceptance. So I would say the first and last is more or less same. Yeah, more specific number of defects against acceptance criteria, more specific. You are making something which is not part of the scope. It could be a deviation of implementation as well. It could be a quality issue as well. But yeah, A looks good. Option B, number of scope change requests approved, matching with the option A section. Number of reviews conducted by the team. Now, reviews directly connecting to scope creep, not that much connected. Number of defects raised, it could be a big quality measurement. The A was talking about defects against acceptance criteria. So B is open-ended defect. So I can't consider the total defect as an indicator of scope creep. Option C, frequency of quality issues identified during testing. Okay, could be. But what is the reason of it? Number of work packages completed without rework. Okay, so it's more like adherence to our work, first time right kind of thing. Work package is completed without rework, but it can be indicative of scope creep, little bit indicative of scope creep. Yeah, number of work packages completed without rework looks like. Stakeholder satisfaction survey ranking. Yeah, stakeholder satisfaction can happen because of various reasons. And anyway, I have a better option A, so I can ignore C. Option D, percentage of completed work package reviewed by stakeholders. In a way, yeah. So work package reviewed, accepted. Yeah. Number of work packages completed without rework. Yeah, in a way, yes. Yeah, we can say there is less defect, but defect is not necessarily always related to scope creep. Number of scope change requests approved. Yeah, so that looks okay. Yeah. Now, review of a work packages is more like a scheduling KPI. Finishing the work package without rework may represent good understanding of the work, but there is a possibility the scope creep can happen before the work gets started. Yeah, that's also a possibility. So option A give me a little more clear indicator, and I can just go with option A without thinking much because I see the numbers and names which are pretty much matching with my question. So this is map to task 14, where we are develop key performance indicator by using decomposition on mapping to manage the program and implement scope quality management system. Yeah, so within the program, the task 14 was more specifically talking about scope and quality related measurements. Question number 100. Yeah, final question for this video. When developing the program budget during the program definition phase, okay, which of the following activities not typically included in the budgeting process? Okay, so this one is mapped to your program activities, and you are preparing cost budget or cost estimation. That's a kind of activity you need to pick it up. If you know those activity, then it is very easy for you to see the words here. But even if you don't remember them, you can easily find out with the help of elimination. So we are at the initial stage of the program and we are estimating the cost. We need to identify which of the following thing may not be relevant at that stage while we are estimating the cost. Option A, apply statistical techniques such as Monte Carlo simulation to determine the range and reliability of estimated program cost. I need to do that because I'm an early stage. I may do a quantitative assessment. I may do risk-based estimation as well. So that's a thing which you can find in your program management standard when you talk about the cost estimation done at the early stage of program. Option B, calculate full life cycle cost, including development, implementation, transition, and sustainment expenses. That is expected to be done. As a program manager, you need to consider all these elements when you are estimating the cost. So that's included. Option C, identify key constraints and assumption underlying cost estimate, noting any limitation or condition that could impact accuracy. So this is also an important activity you do when you are doing cost estimation. Option D, aggregate cost from individual components, including detailed estimate at the work packages level into the overall program budget. This you don't do at a program definition stage. You may have a situation when you move forward, then the component budgets will keep getting updated, and you need to integrate the component level estimation in your program level estimation at a later stage. But at this point in time, you don't have a visibility of component level WBS and their work packages. Components are not necessary to be authorized at this point in time. In general, from a program lifecycle, understanding the component authorization happens during program delivery phase. So easy to identify and point out that option number D is not a typical thing, which I do while I'm estimating the budget. Typical thing, in the early stage of my program life cycle. So these were the 10 questions, and we have covered 100 questions of program life cycle domain by now. If you get through these questions well, you are very ready for your PgMP exam. If you missed watching our previous videos, follow the playlist. If you have any specific need for your program management preparation, PgMP exam preparation, connect with us. We do run a program to facilitate your PgMP certification.